What if female desire was never meant to be understood, only unlocked? Hey man, let's be real. Most guys are out here guessing. They try to please women with surface level moves, but they have no clue what actually triggers that deep instinctual pull. Today's video is based on a theory that could have come straight from the couch of Sigmund Freud himself, because we're diving into the 5 pleasure keys that unlock the secret code of female desire. This isn't a list of tricks. It's a decoding of the hidden language most men never learn to speak. And once you do, everything changes. Her attention, her surrender, her longing, it's all connected to something primal, something encrypted in her psychology. Crack it, and you stop chasing. She starts choosing. But here's the thing. If you miss even one of these 5 keys, you'll keep falling into the same patterns, wondering why the emotional connection fades or why the desire dies without warning. These aren't just ideas, they're hard truths buried beneath generations of male confusion and female silence. If this topic already feels like something no one ever really explained to you, you're not alone. Drop a like, leave a comment, or share this with a brother who needs to hear this today. It helps more than you know, and now it's time to break that silence step by step, starting with the first key that most men never even knew existed. The 5 pleasure keys that unlock the secret code of female desire by Sigmund Freud. Most men never realize this, but what women respond to has almost nothing to do with what they've been told they should respond to. The truth lies deeper, buried beneath layers of polite society, filtered speech, and politically correct nonsense. That's where female desire psychology really lives. It's not sweet, it's not tame, and it's definitely not logical. What turns her on exists in the shadows of her mind, where instincts rule and reason takes a back seat. You can say the right things, you can do the romantic gestures, but if you don't hit the pleasure triggers hidden in her subconscious, you'll always feel her drift, and it'll confuse the hell out of you because you'll be doing everything right. That's the trap. Real attraction doesn't care about politeness. It reacts to power, mystery, and unconscious attraction. And Freud, he saw it coming a century ago. The things she says she wants rarely match what actually ignites her. There's a reason she lights up around some men without them even trying. And a reason others, more successful, more stable, get ignored. It's not luck. It's masculine authority. Not domination in the toxic sense, but presence. Calm certainty, controlled chaos. That energy activates something ancient in her, and something she can't verbalize but deeply feels. If you've ever seen her glance at a man like she's starving, that's sexual polarity in action. And it's not random, it's predictable, repeatable. Let's break this down with brutal honesty. What if she doesn't even know why she wants what she wants? What if the psychological dominance that draws her isn't something she can explain, but only surrender to? And if that's true, would you rather follow generic dating advice or understand the actual operating system inside her? You can learn it. You can apply it. It's not manipulation, it's awareness. It's emotional control. Yours first, then hers. Forget everything that sounds like effort, compliments, flowers, trying to earn her attention. If you're chasing her, she's already gone. But if you awaken her instinctual desire, she'll lean in without fully understanding why. That's the effect of a man grounded in male self-mastery. He doesn't beg, doesn't overgive, doesn't over-explain. He knows she's designed to react to certain energies, not scripts. That's how Freud studied it. That's how real men today apply it. Here's the part nobody tells you. What seduces her isn't what's visible. It's what's felt but unseen. The breath between words, the silence between glances, the delayed response, the moment you say nothing but still own the room. That's seduction psychology. And it's more about restraint than action. The deeper you go into subconscious influence, the more you'll see her react with curiosity, then interest, then surrender. One key at a time. You don't need to guess anymore. The 5 keys we're about to unlock are based on erotic power dynamics that override social programming. They tap directly into what evolution hardwired inside her. This isn't just about getting attention, it's about commanding respect, desire, and mystery without ever raising your voice. When you internalize this knowledge, you stop negotiating for connection. You become the connection. You become the trigger. That's the real confidence mindset. Imagine this. She's in a room full of men. Some are charming, some are successful. But then one man walks in, says nothing, and her body shifts. That's not coincidence. That's desire activation. Something in his posture, his stillness, speaks directly to her nervous system. It bypasses logic. That's what most men miss. Attraction isn't about who talks the most. It's about who moves the least. Because he doesn't need to. He's radiating primal attraction, and she feels it before she can name it. Most guys are taught to impress, to convince, to explain their worth. But the male who understands behavioral psychology doesn't try to explain anything, he simply embodies it. He moves with purpose, he speaks when needed, and he observes. Why? Because masculine presence speaks louder than words. A man who is aware of his own power creates a magnetic field around him. It's not loud, it's quiet confidence, and it's devastatingly effective. Here's a simple truth. She is constantly scanning for hidden female signals, even if she doesn't realize it. Her body knows what it wants long before her mind does. So if your presence makes her overthink, you've already lost. But if your energy bypasses her defenses, she won't even notice she's drawn to you until she already is. That's the art. That's the psychology. And sexual psychology insights like this, they don't come from guesswork. They come from awareness and practice. Let me tell you about Matt. He was the nice guy type, always giving, always available, always invisible. Women liked him, but never felt him. One day, he stumbled across a book on attraction leverage and started shifting. He stopped over apologizing. He paused before speaking. He trained his eye contact. He began to value his time. Within weeks, he noticed women reacting differently. Not because he was louder, but because his male frame control had finally locked in. Women feel that shift. When a man reclaims his erotic intelligence, he no longer begs for closeness. He becomes the source of it. He stops trying to solve her like a puzzle and instead lets her experience the energy of a man who knows himself. And that right there is the shortcut to dominance and desire. Not brute force, not control through fear, but influence through emotional depth. Depth she can sense even if she doesn't consciously understand it. You want to know the real game changer? It's when you realize that psychological keys to female desire aren't about technique. They're about identity. You don't use these keys on her, you become the man who holds them by default. That's the shift. Because when you embody these traits, your presence reminds her of something ancient. Something she may have forgotten she was even looking for. That's power awareness. That's what flips the switch. And just when you think you figured her out, she'll test you. Not to hurt you, but to feel if your foundation holds. If your mood swings, if your posture caves, if your energy leaks, she'll know. That's the unconscious vetting process. That's why all this work begins with you. Without male self-mastery, you're just mimicking moves. But with it, every glance, pause, and breath becomes a message. I don't chase, I choose. And she feels the difference. So here's the invitation. Stop playing small. Stop hoping she'll see your value. Instead, show it without a single word. As we reveal each of the 5 pleasure keys in this video, you'll start to notice a pattern. These aren't tactics, they're truths. Each one is built to help you decode the unspoken language of female desire psychology. And once you see how deep the rabbit hole goes, you won't be able to unsee it. There's something primal in every woman that doesn't respond to logic. It responds to sensation, contrast, tension. That's why the next pleasure key is so crucial. It's not about words, it's about the way your presence rearranges the emotional atmosphere. The female desire psychology behind this is ancient. Women evolved to detect subtle shifts in power. Not loud dominance, but that quiet, grounded certainty. That unshakable stillness. And when you step into it, you don't have to announce it. She feels it in her nervous system. Before we go deeper, let's get one thing clear. This isn't for everyone. Most men won't make it past this point. They'll scroll away, distracted by noise, missing what could have shifted their entire dynamic with women forever. But you're still here. That already sets you apart. So here's the deal. If this kind of content is opening your eyes to things no one ever taught you, if you're finally seeing how much of this game is internal, then don't keep scrolling. Tap like right now, hit subscribe. This is the kind of insight that disappears from the algorithm if we don't protect it. And what's coming next? It's what ties all the pieces together. Let's keep going. The second key is something almost no man uses consciously, yet it unlocks a core feminine response. It's the art of controlled tension, not chaos, not abuse, but tension that keeps her mind alert, her body alive, her emotions ignited. When used right, it becomes emotional control in its purest form. A slight delay before you answer, a confident pause in your gaze, a playful challenge instead of approval. That's what separates men she forgets from the ones she obsesses over. Women crave polarity, the dance between opposites. And the reason many relationships fizzle is because that sexual polarity dies. Too much comfort, not enough edge. Too much agreement, not enough mystery. You bring the fire back, not by chasing her emotions, but by standing in your own. That stability, that refusal to flinch, reignites the charge. The masculine leads, the feminine feels. When that alignment returns, so does the chemistry. That's the third key, and most men throw it away unknowingly. If you've ever wondered why she pulled away right after things got close, it's because you got too close, without keeping your grounding. That's where psychological dominance comes in. Not dominance over her, but over yourself. It's the ability to remain composed even when she's chaotic, emotional, or uncertain. She doesn't want you to mirror her storm. She wants you to anchor it. That's how she trusts. That's how she opens. That's when her subconscious influence kicks in and says, "This man is different." Now picture this. She's in your presence, and for once, she doesn't feel the urge to control, to perform, to test. She just melts. Why? Because she senses no insecurity to push against. You've claimed your own energy so fully that she finally relaxes. That's erotic power dynamics at play. Not forced, but earned through self-respect. Most men never make it here because they never master the silence between their words. But when you do, it's not what you say, it's how you don't flinch. The fourth key is what I call deliberate contrast. A man who's calm but dangerous, kind but untouchable, present but unneedy. That duality is magnetic. It pulls her in because it confuses the predictable part of her mind and stimulates the primitive one. That's when instinctual desire takes over. The moment she feels both safe and challenged, her system short-circuits in the best way possible. That's when she starts showing up differently, leaning in, mirroring, chasing your attention without even knowing why. Let's bring this down to something practical. Start showing her less of your reactions. Don't give away your state. Observe more. Speak less. When she expects validation, offer silence. When she pushes emotionally, respond with stillness. This triggers her subconscious influence receptors. Her body starts working overtime to decode you, and that's exactly where you want her. Most men drown in their own need to be understood. The few who understand male frame control know the less you chase, the more she reveals. Here's something to try. Go to dinner with a woman you like. Midway through, lean back, go quiet, and just hold your gaze. Not creepy, not intense, just steady. Let her feel the space you're creating. Let her react to it. You're now engaging the confidence mindset without needing words. She'll either fidget, soften, test, or open, but she'll respond. That's the point. Responses give you data, and data gives you direction. That's how a man with psychological keys moves. Calm, strategic, unapologetic. This is where we separate boys from men. A boy asks, "What do you want me to be?" A man asks, "What do I want?" and becomes it. That shift is everything. The final pleasure key isn't something you do, it's something you are. It's the embodiment of power awareness. When you walk into a room with your spine straight, your mind sharp, your energy clean, women notice. Not because you're trying, but because you've stopped trying altogether. The man who holds these 5 keys doesn't need to talk about them. He becomes the one she whispers about, the one she compares others to, the one she can't fully explain. Why? Because her words don't fit the experience. It lives in her body now, in the tension, in the mystery, in the memory. That's what erotic intelligence creates. Not a checklist, but a feeling that lingers, that haunts her, that makes her wonder where you learned this and why no one else gets it. And that leads us to this truth. Female desire isn't random. It's patterned. It's primal. It's responsive. And if you felt confused before, don't blame yourself. Nobody taught you this. They told you to be nice, to communicate, to share your feelings. And none of that is wrong. It's just incomplete. Without seduction psychology, you're emotionally naked in a game that requires armor, edge, and elegance. This is your invitation to rearm. Not to dominate women, but to finally stop being dominated by confusion. So, where do you start? Start with the mirror. Study your posture. Review your tone. Audit your availability. Begin cultivating that unshakable masculine presence. You don't need to master all 5 keys overnight. Pick one, integrate it, practice it, embody it. And the next time you're around a woman, don't do anything, just be. And observe what changes. You're not here to impress. You're here to express the version of you that doesn't chase, doesn't fold, and doesn't explain, just leads. You ever notice how some women keep coming back to a man who says less? It's not because of his looks, it's because of the charge he creates. That charge lives in space, not in words. In certainty, not performance. That's the ripple effect of applying female desire psychology at the deepest level. Once you embody it, you don't ask, "What should I say next?" You already know. It's not about saying more. It's about letting her feel you in the silence. Here's what's crazy. Most men have 1 or 2 of the keys, but they miss the others entirely. They lead with confidence, but lack depth. Or they're mysterious, but reactive. That imbalance breaks the emotional rhythm that creates lasting unconscious attraction. These 5 keys only work when they flow together. When your masculine authority supports your mystery. When your silence holds weight. When your eye contact is calm, not hungry. That's when she doesn't just notice you, she feels claimed by your presence. The truth is, you don't need more techniques. You need embodiment. That means doing the uncomfortable inner work that most men skip, sitting with silence. Practicing presence, holding tension without flinching, building that emotional control muscle so when she tests, you don't crack, you smile. That's when instinctual desire awakens in her. Not because you're controlling her, but because you're finally in control of yourself. And that, my friend, is the most seductive force on earth. I want a practical starting point? Here it is. For the next 7 days, eliminate approval-seeking behavior. Don't over-explain. Don't justify. Don't chase. Sit with discomfort when silence arises. Hold your gaze 1 second longer than usual. That's how you begin integrating male self-mastery. It's subtle, but it compounds. And the moment you feel the shift in how women respond, you'll know you're onto something real. Something rooted in her biology, not in pop advice. Something Freud hinted at, but few men ever mastered. This is the forgotten language of polarity, the rhythm of tension and release, the dance of distance and closeness, the unsaid power in knowing that her desire is less about your face and more about your frame. Behavioral psychology backs it. Evolution wired it. And once you lean into this truth, you stop forcing attraction and start allowing it. With time, the 5 pleasure keys stop being tools and start becoming who you are. That's when she stops testing and starts trusting. You'll notice something else too. Other men will start responding differently. You'll speak less and be heard more. You'll walk into spaces and feel the shift in energy. That's the ripple effect of internal change. Women will feel primal attraction, men will feel presence, and you'll feel lighter, clearer, stronger. Because the man who holds these keys isn't just unlocking women, he's unlocking himself. That's the irony. You chase her for years until one day you realize it was never about her, because in the end, power awareness isn't about control, it's about truth. The truth of who you are when the world stops performing and the masks fall off. The man she craves isn't perfect. He's integrated. He's sovereign. He walks with a calm storm inside him. And once she feels that, nothing else compares. She'll test it. She'll doubt it. But if it holds, she returns again and again. And that's the key that unlocks everything she never dared to ask for, until you showed her it existed. So now the question is simple. What are you going to do with this? Are you going to let it be another video you half remember next week? Or are you going to start practicing this, living it, becoming that rare man who doesn't need to chase because his presence alone pulls? What would happen if, instead of waiting for women to choose you, you became the man they can't ignore? What would shift in your confidence, your relationships, your life, if you lived from this deeper truth? Let me know in the comments. Which of the 5 keys hit you hardest today? Which one do you feel like you've been neglecting? And what are you going to do about it? Here's a phrase to drop in the comments right now if you're serious about the shift. I don't chase, I activate. And listen, thank you for staying with me all the way to the end. That says a lot about you. Most guys tapped out a long time ago, but you didn't. You're built different, and now you've got something most men never even hear about. If this content sparked something in you, drop a like, send this to a brother who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel with notifications on, because we're just scratching the surface of what it means to be a man in full control of his presence, his psychology, and his power.